Happiness is the only way that you can really go. If you are down, if you are down, if you are down, if you are down, if you are down.
So, Marco, how do you feel the
Hello.
studio session went?
I think it went really well. Augustyn is a really talented musician and artist in general. He has a lot of energy and charisma in his content. And with rap music, for me personally, I really enjoy rap with content. And I think there's a lot of wisdom and lessons that he teaches us through his music. And, well, for the whole world. So I think it's refreshing to see an artist like that in the scene, especially so close here at DBS.
What got you first interested in studying creative music production and sound engineering?
Okay, so I first got into music when I was still in high school. I started DJing, and I had a lot of family pressure to study something that is more, well, how can I say this, safe for stable life, I guess. So I kind of followed their intuition and I studied business management for 3 years in South Africa. And after that, I still did an honors program. But throughout that whole time, I was producing music by myself and just DJing. And I always had this interest. So when I finished my course, my family wanted me to do a master's degree in business. So I told them, like, I already did this, but I'm really passionate for music, and it's almost the same price to do the master's of business or study music. So I decided to come to Berlin, and I had been to Berlin a year before that, and I fell in love with the city, and I researched for some schools, and I saw DBS. We have a really cool profile online and website, and it really intrigued me. And yeah, I wanted to pursue my passion and just make my art as rich as possible for myself and just develop myself as an artist. And honestly, I was applying for the EMP program, not the M-Pro, but it was full. And I ended up taking the M-Pro, and I actually like it a lot. I didn't imagine myself recording bands and stuff. I was more into just electronic music production in my laptop and making my own vibes. So it's interesting to be able to work with other musicians and learn from them, I guess.
And you said that you wanted to come to Berlin to grow yourself artistically.
Yes.
You know, how have you grown since you've moved here, and also since you've been studying at DBS?
Well, I've learned to think in very different perspectives, and I went deep in a lot of subjects that I had no clue about before, and also just being inspired by the people around us. I mean, you have the students, the teachers, and the staff, and they're all super friendly and welcoming, and they have a lot of knowledge to share, and if you're curious enough, if you're proactive, you can absorb all of that easily. And I mean, I met a guy that was studying at DBS last year, and we ended up vibing with the same music, and now we're doing events together in Zurich. We created a brand, and we're DJing together, which is also pretty cool. And I'm collaborating with other artists from here with completely different music genres. So I guess I'm learning a lot, and I'm also growing as a human, not just as an artist. So I think all in all it's super good, and I'm loving the experience so far.
What does the future hold for Marco?
That's a surprise. Well, I can tell you what I'm doing right now. I'm doing mixing services for friends and acquaintances. I'm doing DJ gigs and hosting events and recording bands. I would like to keep investing in these fields within the industry and enriching them. But next semester we have the mastering module, so I'm excited for that, so I can start mastering some songs and add that to the list.
Do you have any ideas of what you'll do after you graduate? Or are you still, you're just living in the moment?
I'm kind of living in the moment, but at the same time I have a direction where I want to go. But I don't know, it's hard to tell. I mean, so much can happen until then, but I would definitely like to stick around in Berlin for a while longer and absorb more of it, because there's a lot to see, and the scene here is very busy and a lot of good potential to network and meet the right people. And as I said, I met the ex-student of DBS, Kai, and we started an event series in Zurich, and we ended up, because of that, playing at Watergate here in Berlin. so we're getting connected with the people in the scene, which is really cool. And yeah, I just hope to have this organic growth and development. I don't want to think about it too much because then I feel like I'm forcing things. I like to let things happen naturally, but of course with a certain direction in mind.
So what advice would you give to somebody who's looking at you and wants to be in a similar position?
I think you should give it your best shot and be as proactive as possible and curious about what you're doing, so you'll investigate stuff at home, so you can come to school prepared with the right questions to ask your tutors, ask your fellow students, and yeah, you really get what you give, so the more you give, the more you get.